Good morning and good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you are in the world. I'm Carissa Kranz, and this is another episode of The Laws That Matter. Today, we have Melissa Breslow. She's a good friend of mine, and she's an amazing vegan. She is the vice president of VegFest, what is it, L.A. Veg here. Come on, Melissa. Help me out here.
Hey.
VegFest L.A.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
And you have your own show on Jane Unchained with sound baths, and we've done lunch break lives together, and I've been backstage with you with New Day, New Chef, and you're, a mover and a shaker, and definitely in the vegan world and in the spiritual world, and you're doing so much. So, yes, thanks for joining me, and I'm looking forward to this time with you this hour.
Yes, it's a blessing that we've all gone online so we can be together. So there is some good to the major shifts in the world right now.
Yeah, and speaking of the shifts, your background is just beautiful. Is that your house?
Thank you. Yeah, they call my house the tree house, so it's nice to do events here. Surrounded by beautiful eucalyptus and pine trees.
I love it. And when you do your sound bath energy healing shows, what's your background?
I actually have I have a whole studio now. I've turned it into a studio, my downstairs. So I have giant gongs, and I have like 12 bowls, and I have a huge setup for that. So but today I thought I'd do the background of the trees.
Yeah. Well, but you have some bowls, so those who stick with us can get some vibrational healing here. I'm excited to talk to you because every time, you really are one of the vegans that links together the spiritual aspect of veganism and compassion with the actual living out of life with yoga and healing and sound baths, things that I think a lot of people who are drawn to those things, but may not necessarily make the full body, soul, mind alignment connection in terms of lifestyle choices and diet, which is why we're here on this network, right? To help connect the dots. So what is your vegan story? I know you've been a vegan for about a decade now.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to China. I was just looking at the pictures yesterday because it was right after Fukushima happened. And that was a huge part of me becoming vegan is I was supposed to go to Japan the week after Fukushima happened and with my family. And we were like, oh, we have to change our trip. And so we went to China instead. And I saw the wet markets and I saw what overpopulation and consumption does. And I realized I had this huge epiphany that our planet, it's not just China's problem. It's not just their problem or Japan's problem. It's all of our problem. That the air pollution I saw in like Beijing, where you couldn't even see across the street and they kept saying cloudy day, that's all of us connected. And it was just like, whoa. And then at the time I ate a lot of fish. And I was like, I'm not eating the fish. No way. And then it all just started from there. And I really think when you go vegan, it's a vegan state of mind. Like it awakens you to so many things like, oh, I don't want to wear leather. And, I know you've been vegan your whole life. It's amazing.
Yeah, but you bring up an important point with leather and stuff. I've been vegan by diet my whole life, but I haven't been vegan by lifestyle and all consumer consumption goods my whole life. It took a while for me to evolve and make the connection about, a down pillow or a down comforter or wool or a leather couch. Those things evolved for me. It wasn't an immediate, we are grown in a world where consumerism is marketed and advertised in a way where it is a pretty leather bag or leather shoes, not an animal that was skinned alive or stripped from its family. It's not marketed that way. So when we buy it, we don't think about it.
I know, it's crazy. I'm actually looking for a new jacket, one of the puffy ones. And I'm like, all the women at the park are talking about what brands. And I went online and I looked and I'm horrified they're all down. And then there's, all the brands they have, there's no other options. So I'm going to have to say something at my daily park meeting at the dog park with all the women. Because I like to stand up. I think it's important to say something because that's how you...
Are they vegan or are they not? No, so they're not going to make that. Yeah, so they're right. Yeah.
I'll have to explain it to them. Yeah. But I was just watching Nimai Delgado's video. He has this big YouTube video and I just keep posting it over and over again. I'm just blown away because he was raised on ahimsa, about compassion for animals. And it's so neat to see a giant bodybuilder champion. He's so compassionate and gentle. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And you were involved with New Day, New Chef. I know I saw you on set when we had the first taping, season 1. So let's talk about that. I'm excited about New Day, New Chef. It's now on public broadcast stations across the country. Tell us about your role and your episode with it.
It was so fun. So I did an episode with my husband, which was so fun. We made gazpacho, and it was so nice to be part of the whole... I love being part of the whole team. I know,
isn't it nice? I miss the team out there.
I do too. It's really a great community, but now we're all online, so we all get to be together because it's incredible how many people are all over the world part of the team. But it's really a great opportunity. Even the text group, it's so overwhelming. There's so
I know that's text. I had to mute my notifications because it's so much. And then at the end of the day, I'm like catching up on my reading.
I cannot keep up with it, but it's great because then we know all things vegan, what's going on in the world, and it's great. Yeah. And the show was so fun. That show was great. Yeah.
I know. And boy, were we well fed backstage too. Yeah. So many delicious vegan chefs. And I don't know if people realize, like, while we have filmed a whole season, we filmed an entire season in like 2 days. Yeah. So imagine how many chefs and how many dishes we had backstage and how well we were fed when you have, I don't know, 9 episodes or however many it is in 2 days.
Well, I love it because I feel like I'm friends with almost everybody that was on the show. And so I just really enjoy watching it back.
Yeah. Which episode were you?
I think the second episode, maybe.
You were right before mine.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to go watch New Day, New Chef. It's on Amazon Prime. And go watch episode 2 for Melissa and episode 3 for Carissa.
Yes. And it's been a huge success. It's really exciting. They need more vegan cooking shows.
Yeah.
Well,
we also did Lunch Break Live together, at least one.
That was so fun. Yeah, at a restaurant.
Yeah, Grain Cafe. That was about exactly a year ago. Wow. Because I was out there and COVID happened while I was there. And everything was shutting down. And I flew home and the airport was pretty much empty. I think it was February or March. I think it was almost exactly a year ago. Right?
I flew the weekend to see, it was my grandma's 90th birthday right before it hit. And I remember the air, it was just about to go and shut down. And it was really scary. Yeah, still is.
So Melissa, you have a lot of projects going on. You're involved in like vegan organizations, you're a founder of organizations, you're doing yoga, you're doing sound baths. Where's the priority of your energy going? I would say like 80% of the time.
I teach yoga is a lot of it. I teach yoga every day out of a yoga studio in LA, but now it's all gone on Zoom, which I love because I never have a reason to be like, can't be there today.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about parking anymore. I do miss being with people. It's nothing like being in person, but it's great not having to worry about schlepping around. But I do give a lot of my energy to Open Eyes Foundation, and we've been planning to do a campaign launch. So our focus was going to be North Carolina and Iowa, which are the 2 biggest places where they have pig factory farming, like in the millions and millions. It's horrific. And so our target was going to be there. We planned a whole trip. We're going to bring out a whole team from LA and meet with the whole team there, doing Anonymous for the Voiceless and having billboards and the truck billboards going around with us. And then that was supposed to be in April. So everything shut down just before it. So we had to cancel the whole tour. So we did it online instead. And we finally got it launched. So it's a video, as you saw. And then every day we're supporting it with just a lot of facts about animals. And our real goal is it's protect all families. And so really hitting the compassionate, you know, because some people show gruesome photos, and I really think that people need to see every angle of veganism and why they should be vegan. And so this one is hitting home that the animals have emotions and feelings, and they want to be with their families too.
Yeah, well, and that's important because everybody will respond differently to different videos. So like if someone's looking at a PETA video, if they can get through the video, they may change. But a lot of people will say, I'm not going to watch that video. I can't do it. So they're just not going to change because they're not going to watch it. They're going to tune it out. But if the video approaches a more, you know, compassionate side of things without the gruesome side, maybe you'll get them to watch it. They'll connect the dots without forcing upon them something that they will find so disturbing that they're just going to turn off. So I think different strokes for different folks type of a thing. So I think this is the video.
As much as we love our families, animals love their families too. All lives deserve respect. By making choices with our cuisine, we can save families while preserving our planet and protecting human health.
Thank you so much for playing that.
Yeah, and it was eye-opening, right?
Yeah. That's the idea, is if you open eyes, you open hearts, to connect it, to give it that spiritual view too, you know, that we're all beings, we all deserve respect, and we want to live.
We all want to live, right?
Yeah.
Live and let live.
Yeah.
So what's the next step for that video and that your foundation and everything that you're doing there? How are you going to get that out?
So once we're able to, I'll go to North Carolina with a team. And, you know, we were going to go, there was supposed to be a 50,000 person country music concert. And we were going to be out there with our whole team, handing out pamphlets and go, go, go. So once things open back up, we definitely plan to be traveling from city to city and places that need it. So like in LA, I feel like a lot of it is preaching to the choir. I want to go places, because I'm from Nebraska. I want to go places where it's new, where people are like, vegan? What do you eat? I really want to target those people who can't even fathom it, because that's where the message needs to go to the most. But for now, to keep making videos and eventually, like your show, get into the laws, influencing the laws. I think that's a huge way to make change, and to be making billboards saying like, vote this way because, to give animals more rights.
Yeah, there is a lot of systemic change that can happen if you get into the laws of it. Do you have any specific laws that you'd want to address?
Well, the ag-gag law, of course. And we're so happy North Carolina shut that down. But Iowa still, yes, thank God. But Iowa still has it. So
well, a lot of big farming states are going to have ag-gag laws, and just in case someone doesn't understand what that is, if you're watching, although I would think most people on this network know what that is, but you never know where these videos get shared. But it's basically making it a crime to report the crimes on factory farms, and that's ag-gag laws. So you also have coming up, which you shared with us, is the VegFest Los Angeles Valentine's Day coming up. So give me a little bit of information on this. I love the flyer. A lot going on here. A lot of people involved.
Yeah, so we've gone virtual. Unfortunately, we've had to cancel 2021, of course. Venues won't even book out. So I like doing every couple months a different festival. So this will be really fun. It's for singles and people in relationship. Melanie Joy, who's just a powerhouse, And she went to Harvard, and she's actually a therapist on all of this. And I mean, she's so well educated. She's the one who coined carnism, and she's written so many best-selling books on relationships. So I'll be doing a 30-minute interview with her. And I like to make it a variety show. So a little bowl knock. So we start the day with yoga and we end it with music. And then we always have an animal rescue. So this month we're featuring Reverse Rescue, where I actually just rescued my puppy a couple months ago. And so, yeah, we'll be speaking with this panel. Alex Filippi, he runs VegFest. He founded it. He actually, it's one of the biggest dating apps. And so I think it will be exciting to hear these experts speak on what their experiences are. And I think he has almost 1 million matches, vegan matches, which is huge. Yeah. So it will be nice to hear them talk, but also in a relationship, if one person's vegan and one person's not, it will be really interesting to hear how that can work and can that last, because to have different values like that would be really hard to see someone eating a steak. Like I would never allow it in my house.
I think once you, it's hard. People have an ability to disconnect and have a cognitive dissonance. So I know, like when I grew up being born and raised vegan, I made the choice that I wasn't going to eat it, but I forced myself to disconnect to what other people were doing around me so I could exist in the world. Because when I'd go out to eat, people would say, I got so tired of being persecuted. Like, how do you get your protein? And don't you think that carrot has feelings? And, it got exhausting to answer the questions all the time. So I was like, listen, like, let me do me and you do you. I just want to eat what I want to eat. But then in, the last 30 years, I think things have changed. And now when I go out to eat, I notice people saying, do you mind if I eat X, Y, and Z on the menu? And that was a relief for me. It was like, oh, now it's not like I have to be defensive about what I'm eating and tune them out. Now they're asking me permission to eat their meat. So that was a relief that I was like, oh, I don't have to, I don't have to be on the defense. They can do what they want. I'll do what I want. And then as I evolved more and I realized they were asking for permission and I started contemplating permission, then I started to get bothered by it. Right. And I think if it was a relationship thing, it would be very hard for me. I think it would be,
you know what I say? Because people do that too. I always say, they're like, sorry. They say sorry to me. And I always say, don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to the animal that you're about to eat. That's my response to that one. But yeah, it is hard. I know there's the whole vegan pledge to never eat a meal with somebody who's not vegan or who's going to eat animals. And I really believe that we have to be out there and we have to be, I totally agree with you. We can't isolate ourselves because then we're not spreading the message.
No, we have to infiltrate, not isolate.
Yeah. So, I do it in a nice way though. I don't humiliate people or I don't say anything while they're eating, planting the seeds of light.
Yes. I think you can alienate people if you get into the conversation in the wrong way too. And then you can get the result you want.
100%. Yeah.
So when did the spiritual side of you come out? Did that come out before or after your shift to veganism?
Before, and then it really connected everything. And I think that it brought me to the next level. So I've always been into yoga since I was a teenager. I've loved it. But once I went vegan, I haven't talked about this in a long time. It was like this huge weight lifted off of me, off of my soul. Because you're not consuming all of that. It was a huge shift because you're not consuming all of that horror. And terror, and even your digestive system, we're not meant to process that. And I remember I feel like I'm full of light. I feel this real bliss. And that came after going vegan because I was like, oosh, and it's incredible to me when I'm at yoga studios and then they serve pepperoni pizza. And I'm just like horrified because it's so not, we speak about compassion and we meditate on ending world suffering. Like we talk so much about ending world suffering. And then after the class, they always serve food and it's not always vegan. And I'm just shocked. I actually, at my yoga studio, I had them pledge to go vegan. Yeah.
Well, that's the vegan pledge you want, not the other one where you're only gonna eat around vegan. So you made them pledge, and how did that go?
It was really good. When COVID happened, so we're not together anymore. But after the big yoga class of the week, where 100 people come, they always serve a big meal, and it's a big social hour afterwards. And so I had it veganized.
Veganized it. Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I put my foot down. Yeah, I'm very vocal. I'm very loud. I can't help myself. So.
Well, you have a delivery about it.
Yeah.
But it's important, that people make the connection, because I think everything you're doing is dealing with the vibrational effect that things have on us. So whether that is, which I still want to talk about, your sound baths and the vibrational healing that can come from that, or a yoga class where you're raising your vibration through your breath and physical activity by being in a classroom environment where you're sharing the energy with others, or you're talking about the people around you, your friends, your family, the thoughts that you allow into your head, in addition to the vibration of the food on your plate. Yes. And what does that vibration mean? So many people are into yoga and meditation, and then, like you said, the total antithesis of that, the opposite of that, they're going and having a pepperoni pizza, which is full of milk from a cow that lost its baby, and then pepperoni, which is a pig, and you have two dead animals species on a piece of bread. And what is that vibrational energy of that food that you're putting into your body? So you're working so hard to raise your vibration because you want your crystals and you want your sound baths and you want to do yoga and you want to do meditation, and then you want to purify your body inside and out and feel the sense of alignment, and then you're putting this food into it that you think just tastes good. You're not thinking about it, and the energy of food is just like thoughts and those around you. It'll either raise your vibration or lower your vibration. So you're an energy healer. You're doing all these sound baths. I want you to talk to us in the capacity of an expert at this, really is what you are, in vibrational healing and its effect on us, which is the law of unintended consequences, in this law-based universe.
Yeah. So in every way, the meat and dairy is just heavy, and it's a sad energy. But really what I want to talk about is when you eat vegetables and when you eat plant-based, even rubbing your hands together, when you rub your hands together and then you go like this, you can feel that energy between them. And so then I like to aim it down at my food and just take a moment even to connect with my food and say thank you. And thank you, may I send nourishment, and, thank you for the farmers who, who planted this food, and thank you to the earth and the soil nourishing this food. I talk about Mother Gaia a lot. I'm actually in herbal school. I always have an herbal drink with me. I'm obsessed. This is nettles tea. And it's interesting because part of yoga is we talk about transcending and the heavens and how good we feel and blissed out. But half of that equation is the earth. And we forget about that. And it's balance and harmony is talking about the heaven and the earth and combining that and meeting that in the middle, which is the heart. And so if you talk about the chakras, when you get to the middle, that's the heart. And so I really recommend, I say it a lot at the end of my yoga class, go out in nature barefoot and touch the earth and just quiet your mind and connect. And it will change you. It will heal you. And it makes such a difference. And it really grounds your energy. And to say thank you. I tell people, say thank you for my life. We come from the earth. We're made of the same elements. And I say, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the sun rising and setting every single day. I think so much in life is gratitude. But yeah, it's the energy of connecting with the earth. And that I say this, so my classes I teach are not to vegans in yoga. So I always say we do a healing, we do Ramadasa, Sase So Hung, which is a universal song for healing. It's balancing the elements. It's saying mother, father, sun, moon. And I always say, heal if you need healing for yourself or any loved ones. And then I say for the planet and the animals. And so I say, picture all the animals happy with their families, frolicking through the fields as they're intended, living out their lives. And then I say, and then the human animals, see them making the highest choices, coming together, united to make the highest good choices for all, uniting. And then I say, see the plants and trees thriving and the air and water clean and fresh. And I feel like saying animals and human animals, I feel like saying that connects us because we are animals. And I like to help people make that connection.
We're just a different species.
Yes.
We were born in a form that makes some of us lucky and other species unlucky, it seems, in this earthly existence.
Yes.
I love this picture of you here. You seem so, infused with light and love, and you're just glowing there.
Yeah. So my sound baths are Sundays, 7:30 p.m. So it's nice evening. That's Pacific Standard Time. So I guess it would be 10:30 Eastern Time. So good before bed. If you're up that late, or you can always watch it later. But I am telling you, I was reading this article about how your self-talk should be.
You have a hummingbird behind you.
Oh, nice. Yay. I just got that. So I'm glad. Look at it. It's working. Yeah. It's really nice being surrounded in nature.
Talk about sound baths and the humming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt you. So go ahead with the sound bath.
After the sound bath, I feel so blissed out. And I was reading this article about your self-talk and how to calm your mind. And I was like, my self-talk, my busy mind is so calm from teaching yoga every day, but it's really, I do 2 sound baths a week at least. And after the sound bath, I am so beyond blissed out. I'm so grateful. You fill out forms what is your stress in your job? 1 to 10, what's your stress? And I'm like, this is so funny. My job is the anti-stress. And I really like focusing on the positive and the good. And with veganism, I like healing. So all the activists, I feel so bad. People are just exhausted and depleted. Yeah. And I feel like this is a way for me to offer something to them because we all need joy in our lives. It can't be doom and gloom all the time. There has to be a balance. And that makes us better activists for us to fill our own cups up, because then we can spread that.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So I like doing that. And the sound baths, I always do a meditation focusing on the planet or the animals, and just really grounding us into healing.
Can you share some of these beautiful sounds with me on the
show? Absolutely. Here, let me bring my bowls into this magic.
I'm going to have to attend one of your sessions. I could use it. I think I'm one of the people that ends up going out in the world and doing so much and getting quite depleted from all the work. And then I'm like, oh God, I don't have anything left in me to show up and do what I need to do, because I need to recharge. So and I'm very into the need for yoga and meditation. And I believe in all that higher.
Well, the nice thing about it is all you have to do is show up and lay down. It's not like, okay, we're going to go. I always start with a little breath, a little mantra. Chanting, I think, is so important because it gets our body vibrating to the same frequency. I love mantra and chanting.
So what mantra do you do?
There's so many. Om or Ramadasa, Sase So Hung, Ekonkar Satnam Siri Waheguru. There's so many. I love Waheguru is like, oh, thank you, God. Like, oh, wondrous. So yogis always say Waheguru. Yeah.
And how'd you learn all these chants?
So I'm a Nam yoga teacher. So I actually trained in Hatha, which is vinyasa. And so there's 8 limbs of yoga. And I was taught that it's really kind of through where you are in life, like your age. And so when you're in your 20s, you're like, I want to burn and I want to go crazy and hatha, like, hot yoga and go crazy. And then I feel like when you get a little bit older, then you're like, okay, I want to quiet my mind, and you get more into the breath. It doesn't have to be like this, but this was my journey and this is what I was explained. And then like the last phase is just being blissed out and being able to enjoy life and just reflecting and being able to enjoy it all. So I love the breath work and I love going deep into that and really quieting the mind. I love the mantra and all the meditation. I teach one class and it's just an hour of chanting. And so we learn about our brain waves. I learned about that in herbal school a lot. And there's a brainwave called theta, and it's when you're in this deep, relaxed state, but also this really creative state. So that's when like your third eye is open. So that's when not only can you project out what you want, your dreams and your goals and your visions, but also you get these messages, this clarity of vision that comes in. And it's like you're very relaxed, but your mind is still working. But it's very like you get these genius ideas.
Yeah, these downloads.
Exactly. And so I love it when I'm always like, after I teach that class, I'll write out emails. I'll be like, this is what I want. Like, I'm very clear on what it comes to me. Like, this is how it needs to be. And so theta is a really beautiful place to be. And that's where the sound bath takes you. Or you can keep going and going into delta and get this very deep rest. Do you want me to give you a couple minute experience?
Yeah, let's see. Yes. But I want to just comment before you do on what you just said. Because I feel like a lot of what I've done with my life and my business and BeVeg came to me through a download, through tuning out and being able to tune in and really getting these downloads that are very clear to me on what I'm supposed to do, that, okay, this is my passion, this is my purpose. And wasn't sure how to get from A to Z, but I just knew I had to do A, and then somehow B was clear to me, and then C was clear to me. And it just has evolved into where I am now. And a lot of that required me to turn off the TV, turn out the clutter, tune out the clutter of other noise in my life or chatter or people. Like it really affects your ability to think. Even when you think it doesn't, it does. And I think that people underestimate the need to be in silence and alone with their own mind and own thoughts to gain the clarity they need in order to articulate exactly with clarity and purpose what is supposed to happen next. It got to the point where I have I grew up without TVs in my house. My mom didn't really like me watching TV.
Yeah.
Unless it was Sesame Street. I was allowed to watch Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. That was about it. And so now when I have TVs in my house, but I have Bluetooth headsets. So if someone wants to watch TV, they can listen to it on headset, because I do not need that, coming into my brain waves and my consciousness without it's without inviting it in. And we think, oh, we're not watching, we're not paying attention. We are. The TV is draining, and it's energy coming through those tubes, and the airwaves are relaying a message. And even if you think you're tuning it out, you're still absorbing it. And there's so much in this world we're absorbing without even realizing it. And if you want to get into the meat conversation too, and animal suffering, even if you're not eating the animal, you're still suffering, because billions of them are dying every year. And that suffering is happening on our planet. And that heaviness of their souls is in our airwaves and in our consciousness. And us sensitive people are absorbing that. So no wonder there's so much depression in the world and anxiety. Whether you're consuming it deliberately or you're just existing on this planet, you're consuming it unintentionally because it's happening around us and we're all connected.
Yes. And even social media, that's been coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just think how much more simple life was before social media.
Yeah.
Like, even like, we didn't, when I was little, there wasn't cell phones and there wasn't social media. And we played with like the kids that lived in our neighborhood and we were out more.
Yeah.
It's such a huge shift in the world. It's good because information, it brings a lot of, people sometimes are like, oh, there's so much doom and gloom. And it's because I think of the internet and now we know everything that's going on. So here's a spiritual way of looking at it, is the light is shining down. And so now we can see all the darkness, which is good because now we can make change. But people are like, oh, it's so overwhelming. Like so much is going on. There's so much information, but it's good because now people can get in there to make change because before we didn't even know about it.
Yeah, it is an information overload. But the thing is if we allow ourselves to be overloaded with the right information, not the wrong information. If it's the wrong information, it's going to weigh you down. You're going to become emotionally paralyzed and you're not going to be productive in your purpose. But if it's the right information, you'll self-organize, you'll make sense of it, you'll download it faster, and then things will come into fruition for you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was out walking my dog Pumpkin, and I was thinking how when I grew up, I remember it was like a big deal when someone had a beeper. And then into fax machines, and how we were able to just transmit a message through these airwaves, and then somehow on the other end, this piece of paper would come out with text and pictures on it in a fax, and then the dial-up where we would dial into AOL, and it would take forever to dial, in and connect for us. And look at where we are now. I mean, everything is so instantaneous. I mean, who knows what the next 30 years is going to be.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. I even like that COVID, even though it's horrible, it's really forced us to shift a lot faster. I think all this would have happened, how everybody's online now. I think it would have happened eventually, but I think it sped everything up. And I think it's good. Less cars on the road, less people on airplanes, and more information coming in. So
it's almost scary to think, and exciting too, where technology is going to be though in 20, 30 years. I mean, next time, is it that I'm not looking at you through a screen and you're going to be basically sitting across from me on my couch somehow?
Yeah.
Even if it's a projected image, like we're having a conversation and sharing a cup of coffee, and I can actually hand it to you the way a fax can come out in the fax machine on the other side.
You should start inventing that now.
Oh, God, no. But I mean, what I guess my point is the stuff with technology now is beyond what any of us could have ever thought possible.
True.
When we grew up.
Yeah, I love it. I wanted to say something else about how you were saying like so many things come to you. We really are taught that like it's an intention. Like when something comes to you, it's a clear vision, then it's really like planting the seed with intention. If you have a good intention and you plant that seed, like even in the Hebrew alphabet, I'm Jewish, it's the aleph. If you plant that aleph with love, then the fruit you shall bear will be beautiful. But if you don't really know what you're doing and you don't care and you like halfway do it, then that's always what it's going to be. So that you really, when you start something, you need to be like, what is my intention? What is my goal to do something good? So I like that you said that because
and I'm going to follow up on that because the show's The Laws That Matter, and I actually wrote a book. I haven't published it yet, but it's done. It's called The Laws That Matter, and it's about how human law is an intended version of these higher laws, universal laws, and spiritual laws, and it takes the framework of legal procedure and law and helps us to live our best, most inspired lives by practicing these laws. So one of the laws that I address in the book is mens rea, which, if you know what it is in our court system today, it's the intent. So in order for, like, if a crime's committed, and let's say it's a battery, for example, which is an unconsented touching of another. So if someone takes you to court and say, this person shoved me and I didn't want to be shoved, are they guilty or not? And the entire guilt or innocence is determined by the mens rea. the intent of the person that supposedly committed the crime. Did the person intend to touch you against your will, or were you accidentally shoved in a crowd of people and you got injured, but the person didn't intend to shove you, right?
Yeah.
That's how we determine guilt or innocence. So where your life goes, where your energy flows, right? So when you set your intention on something, your mens rea, that's like the legal principle there that we can put in the framework of the laws that matter, then you're living a very well-intentioned, well, it's good. It doesn't have to be well-intentioned, because if you think about it, premeditation. What is premeditation? Premeditation for murder, right, is a more serious crime than a murder that happened that's not premeditated. Premeditated is thinking about it, intending it, planning it, taking action on it. Well, is it a coincidence that meditation sounds a little bit like premeditated?
Yeah, I like
the laws that matter.
It sounds like a brilliant book. I can't wait to read it. You'll have to do an audiobook too. I love the audiobook.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. This book, like I said, BeVeg came to me. This book came to me. Like, the whole thing was written in about a 3-month period in 2017. And I've put it away because it's not ready yet for the world. You know, I know I'll know when it's right, and it's getting closer, but it's not right yet.
It sounds great, because the law and the judicial system really could use some more spirituality.
So, well, and I don't know if I'll fix that, but I do think that the judicial system is something that everyone can relate to. We watch Law and Order. We've all had run-ins with the law. Our judicial system is based on enlightened principles. Our founding fathers, no matter what government you're in, is usually based on "in God we trust." I mean, there's enlightened principles that are infused within the law, and it is supposed to deliver justice. And Lady Justice's justice is blind. It's supposed to. Karmic law is also blind, right? You may escape certain consequences, but you're not going to escape karmic consequences. There is a higher cosmic law and order to everything. And when you think that this universe is out of order, it's most likely self-organizing, because just look at nature. Look how intelligent nature is. And there's the law of nature too, right? The nature is very intelligent. And when some big catastrophe happens in the world, nature recovers. It reorganizes. And then something beautiful, it might take millions of years, but something beautiful will come of it.
Yeah. And I guess you could speak of karma too. Like, if you really feel like if someone wrongs you and you want to do revenge, if you let it go, usually nature takes its course, you know. It's like something's coming to that person. Because, you know, I like the phrase, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, you know? So it's like people's, and I like cruising for a bruising.
It's like an eye for an eye, I guess, huh?
Yeah, like, you know, if someone keeps going around being an awful person, eventually it's going to catch up to them.
Yeah. Right.
So you don't have to be the one to correct that always.
No.
Not always, but it's good to stand up.
Yeah.
Speak up.
And I think that it's actually not always your responsibility to have to fix things as much as it is to just stand up and live your life with integrity.
To not let it consume you.
And that everybody has their own purpose and their own process for learning, and we have to be accepting of that. Yeah, even though it's frustrating because we're all connected, and then their slower process is annoying because it's holding us back from our quantum progress. Because really, we need to move forward together, all of us.
I love the word process because I'm a slow processor. Like, when something shocking happens, it takes me a while. Like, everybody else is reacting and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I don't believe it at first. You know, everybody has their own process for sure.
Yes. Okay, I guess we should talk about the sound baths and stuff.
Philosophical speak.
No, but I love this stuff because this is really like what my book gets into. Like, I talk about, you know, legal procedure, and it's a process, and meditation's a process, and that's why they call it the practice of law, right? Or the practice of going to ballet class, or the practice of meditation, or the practice of yoga. It is a practice. So being able to practice and play with these universal laws is how you begin to process it and become better at it. And you'll see the laws at play and justice delivered in the form of miracles rather than by the hand of a sword.
And so when is it coming out?
I just need to say I'm ready.
Okay.
I don't feel ready yet. I feel like BeVeg, well, first of all, with COVID, it's not really the best time to go on a book tour, right? Yeah. And I just feel like this is a special book, and BeVeg has some big things happening right now, and my energy is really focused on making sure that's fully sustainable and working. And then I think the book will be more ripe.
Yeah.
But it's ready. It's ripe. But, you know, I guess I feel like the principles were channeled to me. Like some of the principles are like subpoena your soulmate and summon your desires, or, you know, there's a whole chapter about objection practice, right? So if you hear gossip, you can say objection, hearsay. I don't want to hear it. He said, she said, strike it from your memory. If a thought doesn't serve you, file a motion to dismiss on the universe. It's not good. Just dismiss it. So it teaches these tools, but these tools came to me through my framework of my legal background and my just moral core. And it came together for me in this book. But I feel like, okay, you know, who am I to deliver this book unless I can be someone who says, okay, you know what? I came up with these laws. They came to me. I've practiced them. And look, life is successful too, right? So I feel like BeVeg is something I need to get to a certain level of, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're never at that level. You know?
I do feel like as a musician, sometimes you just got to put things out. Like,
you just got to go for it.
I do think I get what you're saying with the book tour and making sure it's the right time and all of that. But at the same time, I feel like you're never fully ready. And I know so many people that never did it. They sat on it forever, you know?
Yeah.
You just,
but this is written.
Got to launch it.
Maybe in the next year.
Okay. Good. I can't.
The other thing is I have a vegan law book too that's coming out, and I have a book deal with vegan publishers on that.
Oh wow!
So I need to deliver that under my contract first.
Okay.
And then I think.
So you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know what it is, Melissa? I wrote the book before I got so busy. And thank God I did, because now I don't think I'd even have time to write it while it's all in my head, the principles. So I feel like it came to me. I wrote it. I did. That was like a purpose of mine in my life, to do this book and get it out. But then the universe has all these other things that now I need to do. And then it's just going to have the right opening, and then I'll publish the book.
So you're in the flow. You know.
Yeah, I'm in flow with it. It's just, it's getting closer, but we're not there yet. And,
good. Yay.
Yeah. So, okay, sound baths.
How long should I do?
Well, we have like 15 minutes left, so you decide.
Okay.
Well, we have like 12 minutes left.
Okay, so let's do, let's see. Okay, so I'll make it a 10-minute. So let's start by sitting up. We're going to do this all sitting up. So get nice and cozy, kind of sit back, relax.
Okay.
Roll your shoulders up and down and kind of pull them back. Feel your heart starting to soften and open, focusing on your breath. You can close your eyes, long, slow inhales all through the nose and exhales. Feel your belly starting to soften and feel your root chakra opening. Feel your roots descending down to Mother Gaia. Feel that connection. Strong, healthy roots, getting nourishment from the soil, from the earth. Feel them tapping all the way down into the core of our planet. Connecting to the pulse, the heartbeat of Mother Gaia. And feel that oneness. Take a deep inhale, bringing in all that earth energy, bringing it up your spine, up your chakras. And exhale out through the crown of your head. This is all nose breath. And inhale that heavenly light energy, the sun, the moon, the stars, bringing it down the spine, down the chakras, filling you with light, exhaling out back to the root chakras. Feeling that grounding, that opening, connecting. Inhaling up all that beautiful earth energy and filling up your heart with love, and exhale out unconditional love, focusing on your breath. And with your mind, tell everything to relax. Feel everything melting, getting softer, releasing, relaxing. See yourself in your favorite place in nature on a warm, sunny day. The sun is warming your skin. You can feel the glow. And you're barefoot. You can feel the earth beneath your feet. Feel that connection. And as you look around, you're surrounded by beautiful animals. There's birds in the sky singing their song. And you feel a oneness to our planet, to all life. And your heart is beating as one with all the animals. You feel the nature and the beautiful fresh air. Slowly start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Feeling gratitude for this moment, being here and now, for this day. Feel a wave washing over you, nourishing you, revitalizing you, filling you with energy and life force. Feel this wave of positivity washing over your skin, your hair, through your blood, through your organs. Feel that connection to the waters, clean and fresh. as they flow through our planet and through your body as one. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, coming back into your body, rolling your wrists and your ankles. And on a deep inhale, reach your arms overhead and point your toes for a great big stretch, opening everything up. And exhale, coming back. Welcoming yourself. Yes.
I got the chills in many times when you played the sound bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Like we could feel the hair raise on my. I can imagine how intense that is when you're actually in the same room.
Yeah,
that you can feel the bowls' energy even more.
Yeah, I can feel the vibration of them. It's so beautiful. They're chakra bowls. So each one, let's see. This is G. Let's see. C, D, E, F, G. So this is throat chakra. And this is made out of, I love this one. This is made out of Larimer. So they're crystal. So they're made, they blow glass, but this is blowing crystal. And then this is mixed with Larimer, and then, it represents the oceans and the waters flowing, and it's the throat chakra. So as vegans, it's important to speak our truth, but as I've learned, compassionately. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And this one, this is let's see. This is the solar plexus. Mm-hmm. So that's where you're like fire burning, you're processing things. And this one is made out of Lemurian, which they say is the download, the universal download of all the wisdom. But it's also made out of platinum.
So let me see, now that my eyes aren't closed, I want to see which sound makes what.
Okay, yes. So this is this bowl. So
okay, let's hear it.
I'm so in love with it. Here, I can move back a little bit. So you guys
I want to hear how each one sounds.
See the bowls a little bit more. Let's put them in there. Yeah. I didn't want to be too loud because they're really loud and they spin. When you're in the room, it's amazing. You can feel it circulating. I'm in love.
That's really cool. But did you notice did the energy of your screen just go black when you did that, like mine?
No, your screen went black?
Yeah, you did that. When you went around, the whole screen went black, and it had the white thing going around like that with your hand. The whole screen, we lost signal.
Yeah, that's why I play them really softly, because normally I didn't expect to play them today, but normally I keep the mic. I have a separate mic, and I keep it all the way across the room. And they're so powerful. That's why
I can see how you played, but the frequency of that interrupted the frequency of my screen just now.
Yeah, they're so powerful. I love them. When I first heard them, I was like, oh my God, I have to have them. And then I just kept buying them. So I was like, put it on the credit card.
Let me hear the other one.
Okay. I'll play it real soft. And then they're so pretty together.
So cool.
Yeah. I was hooked. The gongs too, I have to say. My friend had the gong that I have now, and I remember the first time she played it at a festival. It was at VegFest. Actually, I also want to mention I do Disclosure Fest. I'm part of the team of Disclosure Fest too. So that's another vegan festival. And you guys gotta watch, what is it called? Contact of the Fifth Kind. No, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. It's on Netflix. Oh my God, it's bringing together spirituality, and I just watched it, and the aliens.
Really? I would love that show.
It's so good. The first part is very like conspiracy government, but the whole second half is about how if we meditate and enough of us that we can like welcome in. And so at Disclosure Fest, they actually have UFO summoners, and I've seen it. So it's incredible that they summon UFOs, and there's UFOs flying above. Like, I'm the yoga department. I'm not the alien department, but it's so fascinating. I just watched the documentary. I'm like, oh my God, that's what we've been doing this whole time. And it's just bringing it all together. So
I'll have to watch it. I've seen Ancient Aliens on the History Channel and a couple of those shows, and I'm definitely a believer that there's life out there beyond us.
Yeah.
And where the world has to be ready to invite and accept that life. And I think that there's many of us who have our fears preyed upon about what that life may or may not be. And
that's what the documentary talks about, is how we've been programmed through through movies and TV shows to be scared. Yeah. But it's actually completely peaceful. It's very interesting. I'm not ready. I can't say that right now. That sounds horrifying, but it is because we've been programmed with fear. So to like be able to let that in with love, and
I'll have to watch the movie.
Yeah, I'm yoga, but Disclosure Fest is another, and they're doing a lot of online amazing events too. But Adrian Valera, who throws it, he's been vegan for like 35 years. So he has vegan events and always brings that together. It's really beautiful with spirituality. So yeah, I love building a vegan community, a strong spiritual vegan community. So yeah, that's my goal.
You're doing that.
Yeah,
so we're out of time, but what's next for you, Melissa? Where can people find you? You have a lot going on, and you're doing so many.
Open Eyes Foundation, and we have the Protect All Families campaign right now, and on Jane Unchained every Sunday. And don't miss Valentine's Day, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We have our big Valentine's Day show. It's all live on Facebook. So VegFest L.A., VegFest Los Angeles, live on Facebook, and Jane Unchained, of course, live on Facebook every Sunday evening. So thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. And
yes,
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. And yes, so if anyone and everyone liked that little sound bath meditation that we had on the laws that matter, you can listen in to Melissa on Jane Unchained, because she has her own weekly show here. And I think I'm going to have to check out the next one, because my hair on my arms truly stood up. I really felt the energy of the room. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here next week, same time, same date, always a live show, Wednesday, noon Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. Pacific.